Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
California has the largest population in the United States and the site of some of the most famous true crime cases in history. But there's more than meets the eye to the crime in California. Join Sean, Jessica, and Charles on the California True Crime Podcast as they cover crime both infamous and overlooked from around our state, while looking at the deeper history that goes beyond beaches and movie stars.
Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way, motherfucker. The devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Fall to your knees. Devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Hey Dylan, happy birthday.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell
It's
people.
a very special edition of Mountain Murders because it's Dylan's birthday.
Yes, and this is my last birthday.
You're 28?
I'm going to be forever 28 now.
28 now.
Yup.
You're going to be a dude who lies about his age?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to my barber. Last time I went to my barber, he asked me if I was interested in dye for my facial hair. I'm like, no.
He wanted to hook you up with some Just for Men?
Well, I don't know. I think he was probably selling something a little, a bit more classy than that, surely.
He's like, we have a nice Redken beard product for you.
And, yeah, it's like $70. But, I was like, no, I'm just gonna let it happen naturally,
Well, the other day you were telling me that, you pointed out that you have a lot more white in your beard. And
silver.
Well, whatever. It was kind of streaky before, but now it's bloomed into its own beautiful, like, white lotus.
It's like an undergrowth.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's before I looked like I'd been scared by a poltergeist. I had like a little streak. And now it's I just look old. But no, I wanted to all go. I wanted the whole hair and everything.
Oh, well, your hair's getting there, buddy.
I'm going to be a silver fox.
Yeah, you are. You already got the
Meow.
little salt and pepper thing going, graying at the temples a bit.
Oh, yeah, but enough about me. Here we are in the Mountain Murders studio at the Action News desk.
My hair has been an unnatural color for so long, I don't even know if I have any grays.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about it, right?
I don't know if I have any grays.
You won't gray.
Because it's like pink or blue or purple or whatever. Green.
Toe-headed people don't gray, bud.
It's true. My granny had white hair. Like
You
snow white hair.
You go straight to
so
white.
So if I could get that super white platinum that my granny had, would rock that shit.
Okay.
Okay? I want to look like Santa Claus. Ho, 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 I'm bringing you a true crime case.
Oh.
We are in the month of March. It's about to pass us by, Dylan.
We are at the end.
I can't decide if it, came in like a lion, out like a lamb, or vice versa. It just seems like March has kind of sucked. It's been 90 degrees and then 20 degrees and then 75 and then 30. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, can I say I had high hopes for 2026?
March is drunk.
But the first quarter's not looking that great.
It has not. Dylan, I feel like we just have to really lower our expectations.
Oh, the bar's on the floor.
And then we'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, well, that's true about expectations because if you have none, you never are disappointed. But yeah, I got to say the report card on the first quarter of the year is not that great. And, one thing I can say about it to be positive is there's nowhere left to go but up, bud.
Right. Short of a nuclear attack or a meteor strike or a plague of locusts, I think, we have the future to look forward to.
All right.
Slick and bright. Got to wear some shades. All right, Dylan. March is Missing Persons Month, and so we are going to wrap up the month with a missing persons case.
All right.
That was not repetitive in any way. We're going to be in Tennessee today, in Eastern Tennessee.
Let's go.
Or as East Tennessee, as they say. You lived in East Tennessee for a bit.
I did.
When you were growing up.
I did. Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Bobby, Tennessee. Shout out to Bobby, Tennessee. Various other places. Yeah.
Nice area.
It's a very nice area.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Lovely area. Good people. Good salt of the earth type of people. They'll do anything to help you.
We like those types of people.
I do.
They're our peoples. I like East Tennessee. I like Knoxville. It's a cool town. Karen Farmer Beard was a 35-year-old mother of 2 girls. She had a daughter that was aged 8 and another 5-year-old. Karen was also 7.5 months pregnant at the time of her story.
Okay.
She lived in Harriman, Tennessee, located in Roane County. Now, when I think of Roane County, I think of Johnson City.
That's in Roane County?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Isn't that Roane County?
Yeah, I've been there.
See, now you're questioning me, and I don't know if I'm being accurate.
I think you're right, honey. Hell, I don't know. All I know is...
I just know Roane Mountain's there. There's like a state park. Anyway, somebody will correct me. Karen married a Tennessean named Reese Beard, and they were actually living in California before she moved to Tennessee. So she meets this Tennessee boy. They're out in California. She's a Cali girl. Get married. And the couple had a tumultuous relationship described by relatives as on and off again. And we know these couples. They make up. They break up. Are they together? Are they apart?
Well, yeah, I mean...
It's always drama.
When you're around a couple like this, no matter if it's the... which part of the man or the woman or whoever.
It's usually both.
Doesn't have to be either person, let's say. And they come to you bitching about their other significant other, some big, dramatic thing. Everybody kind of rolls their eyes because they know less than 24 hours you're probably going to be back together.
Right, and you never want to speak ill of the other person because they're going to get back together.
Right.
And then you've talked shit about their partner.
Exactly.
They put you in an awkward place when you're in the middle.
Yeah.
Especially if you're friends with both of them.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it goes. Because if you keep it real and you're like, look, we like both of you guys, y'all. We like both of y'all, but you're just not good together. You know what I mean? And you try to give them some real talk. They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it.
No.
And that's the thing when there's these big dramatic episodes, like someone cheated. You're making a big deal about it, but you're going to go right back to this person because you've done it time and time and time again. So it's like, how does this even surprise you? You're with a serial cheater. I mean, that just comes to mind.
And it's your relationship. You get to do what you want, but then they always want everyone else to be
on their side.
So reactive
pick a side.
And so over the top, and every time. And it's just kind of eye roll.
Exactly. Karen, so like I said, she was from California. She married this guy from Tennessee. They have this tumultuous relationship. During this time, and now I don't know about Karen's life before marriage, but while she's been married to Reese, she starts, developing a drug habit. She likes cocaine, amphetamines.
Oh.
And this is the early 80s. The cocaine's was still pretty popular coming off that disco era.
Well, yeah, I think it was the
Miami Vice. You had the cocaines.
Well, it seemed like during that time it kind of crossed over into the regular working public.
Yeah, well, it kind of became, it was trendy.
Yeah, and it became more abundant. The prices came down. It was known as a rich person's drug for many years. But then true market economics, you get a whole bunch of it, availability. Prices kind of drop a little bit where everyone can kind of afford to, get some on the weekend and you go to the club or you do this and that.
Yeah, I mean, I was very young in the 80s, but from what I have heard, from older folks and just absorbing, 80s culture, it does seem like cocaine was a very popular party drug.
Right.
And a lot of people were using it. Maybe people you wouldn't even have expected to
Well,
be dabbling.
There's the whole trope of you go in the bathroom and like you hear people, which I mean that can happen nowadays, but I think it was quite a bit more common back then as far as recreational use. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a square, and that's always freaked me out when I've gone into a club bathroom or I've been in a bar bathroom and I know people are actively using drugs.
You hear them
in the
using
stall or just out in the open.
Right.
I'm always just like, okay, piss and get out of here. Wash your hands, but go.
Well, it's a gross bar bathroom for one.
Well, yeah. I don't know. It just wigs me out because I'm like, what if this person starts to overdose? What if we're raided and they think I have something to do with this?
Well, you
I'm
just
such a
step
square.
you just step over them and go for the exit.
Okay. Well, at some point, Karen had to be hospitalized because of the addiction issues. In 1987, Reese Beard gained custody of the couple's 2 children. It's notable because he was awarded custody by default after Karen failed to attend a custody hearing.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know why she didn't attend this hearing, but as a result, Karen believed the custody decision was fraudulent.
But she didn't show up.
Yes, I know.
And I got to be honest, back then, I'm sorry, smacking my lips. Back then, you would almost have to go to this extreme for the mother to lose complete custody, right? Because a lot of the times it was harder for the father to get custody over the mother back in the day.
That does seem to be the case. But for whatever reason, like, she firmly believes this decision was fraudulent.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, to you, but she has it in her head. She's really supposed to have custody of these kids. Now, to add insult to injury, Reese married Karen's former best friend, a woman named Cindy. And the couple moves across country to Roane County, Tennessee with the children.
Damn.
Leaving Karen in California. Once Karen was sober, she decided to pursue custody of her children. She moved from San Diego to the mountains of eastern Tennessee. Karen and Reese were involved in a custody battle that lasted for 3 years. That is a very long custody battle.
Man, they're so tough.
They are. I mean, the thing about these custody battles, they're incredibly expensive, very stressful, emotionally draining, and it's hard on everyone, including the children.
Yes, it is. And I guess, I've fought for custody in my life over my children. And at the time, it was because I knew that I was the more capable parent at the time. But I don't understand the animosity. Well, I mean, I do, but also I've realized myself you have to let that shit go. You know what I mean? Because what gets mixed up in the custody of the children is your own feelings, right? And that's where it gets really difficult, I think, for people to remove yourself outside of your relationship with that person and just do what's best strictly for the children.
Yeah, because so often kids are put in the middle. They're used as pawns. Not just the one parent, but it can be both parents. I mean, that was definitely, I have firsthand experience as a child of divorce. My parents definitely used me as like a pawn and tried to pit me against the other person.
Yeah.
And this dragged out, and it was not okay. I mean, I'd already had a pretty traumatic childhood, but then this divorce, it's like it made it, you're finally like getting some relief. Like, thank God they're divorcing because my life has been hell with these two. But then the divorce itself drags out and the custody. And then it's just like, oh my God, it's even worse now than it was before.
Well, you as a child can't mention the mom or the dad to the other one.
No.
Without them
Oh, and especially
bitching
if
about it, right?
mom or dad has a new partner.
Yeah.
You know, like
Then you're getting grilled.
when I say like, oh, me, mom, and her significant other went to the lake and we had a really good time last weekend. Then it's just on, and the rest of the weekend is like, fueled by this jealousy and rage and anger.
And see, that's the part I'm talking about. Unless you really think your children are in danger, or being neglected, abused, or anything
Right.
like that, then all bets are off, and you have to go all the way. But that's the thing is, short of that, you got to get over yourself.
Absolutely. You know, I have 2 baby daddies.
Oh
I
God!
was married to the first one, and the second one, we were in a lengthy relationship, but we never said I do.
Damn, if ran through as a person.
Thank you. It's true. You have no idea, actually. I would never share that information with you.
I don't want to know.
I don't want you to judge me. Well, I don't care if you judge me. Fuck you. It's who I am, bro. I'm a big old slut.
That's right.
Yeah. Bring on the baby daddies. Okay. But I've always tried, and it's probably because I had such a terrible experience as a child, like being put in the middle of very adult situations that I should not have been privy to.
Right.
That I've never wanted that for my kids. And so I've always really tried to maintain a good working relationship, if you will, like with my exes. And that's the thing. I don't understand being jealous. Like when my son comes to me and says, like, I went out with dad and my stepmom for ice cream, that's not going to upset me. I'm glad. I'm like, awesome. I'm so glad that she's taking an active interest in my son and going out for ice cream with him, and or taking him sledding or swimming, whatever. That there's another person in his life who cares about him,
right,
who loves him, and who wants to bring joy to his life and take him to do fun things.
Yeah, so instead of 2 people caring about him and worrying
He's got
for him,
3.
he has 3.
And now he has 4.
And he has 4. I mean, that
Yes.
how can that be a bad thing?
I mean, he has like this whole other family through his stepmother. Like her mother is like a grandmother to him, her brother, his children. So it's like, he has this whole other extended family.
Yeah, I know.
That has nothing to do with me, but I'm so tickled every time he gets to go visit or have a holiday experience, and he's just beaming, happy, had a great time. That makes me feel good.
Right.
So I just don't understand why parents, you're an adult, put your feelings aside. Right? Well, it sounds like Karen and Reese could not put their feelings aside.
Well, and you have the dynamic if they used to be close friends, which I gotta say, that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah. Well, I told you I was going after your best friend because he had good credit.
Well, if you're real good friends with someone,
No, it's odd.
It's kind of weird to me, and I know things can happen. People grow apart, and I don't know. I personally might not do it.
I wouldn't. The only time I think that it might be acceptable for me, and I'm not judging anybody else, would be like if you passed away and your best friend was a widower too.
Okay.
And you kind of bond over that, the love of your ex, your former husband or whatever, and then maybe y'all start spending time together. And you have, you can relate to each other. You've known each other for a long time, and then maybe romance happens on down the road. Like, to me, that's maybe more acceptable than just, I'm leaving you, and by the way, I'm going to bang your best friend on the way out.
Well, or if you haven't been friends for a very long, you kind of grown apart naturally anyway, and you haven't been super close friends. You maybe were friends back in school. That's a little different. But, like, if it's, like, your active best friend.
Right.
And then I leave and then I get with that person, I think that's kind of scuzzy on everybody's part.
Well, like, if we were just playing pickleball together yesterday, and then today she pulls up and you take out your little, I'm mad and leaving suitcases and go plop them in her car and she drives away, like, that's not okay.
As the best friend, I would be kind of weird of having a sexual relationship with someone who was just having a relationship with my friend.
Well, I'd feel like I was fucking my friend.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
right?
That's kind of... Oh, anyway, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never wanted to date my friends' exes or people who've
tried to pursue your friends.
Yeah, that's never appealed. Like, I've never wanted to go after the guy that my friends had I don't know. It's very weird. But let's get back to our story.
Here we are in this messy situation.
Very messy. During the custody dispute, Karen claims that Reese was a drug user. He had affairs with other women. He's a philanderer. Reese responded by accusing Karen of struggling with addiction and being unfaithful. So they're just back and forth. She's a cheater. He's a cheater. She uses drugs. He uses drugs. just pointing the finger. I mean, honestly, when you get to this point, it just sounds to me like y'all probably both are some shit.
Well, I mean, it's not healthy, and it's really not going to get anywhere. It's not going to be productive, right? When you both are just basically name calling. I mean, it's like, I don't understand when people separate.
There was this one time when he left the toilet seat up.
You should want to, if you.
It just seems petty.
I don't understand the keeping on with each other after you separate, right? Because if you've decided you don't want to be with that person, fine.
Well, here's my thought as well. I mean, I understand maybe the drug or alcohol use, that being a concern in a custody case, but whether or not he's promiscuous, a philanderer, or she's sexually promiscuous, what does that have to do with being a good parent? I mean, in my opinion, that doesn't even matter. Like, so what if he cheats with multiple women? Does that make him a bad father?
Well, I mean,
I guess I'm just like, who cares, right? I mean, this is not a divorce hearing. This is a custody hearing.
I could dream up scenarios where you might be able to argue it matters. Let's say you're having multiple partners, frivolous partners around your children.
Well, I get that part.
Or
I'm
something
just saying,
like, but no, it certainly seems like.
I mean, again, it would be the equivalent of saying like he leaves the toilet seat up,
right?
And or, one time she was drunk and peed herself in the driveway. Like, I don't know. It's just it's just stupid.
Well, I think it's obvious that it's more about, it's also about them and not just about the kids.
And no, I haven't recently peed myself in the driveway. It's been a while. You're welcome. When Karen became pregnant in 1990, she confided in her sister Linda Farmer that the child belonged to Reese Beard. Now, we've got this contentious custody battle, a lot of mudslinging, but somehow she's pregnant with his baby.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that doesn't surprise me because the reason y'all are keeping on like that with each other is because you're still having contact. You still are entangled emotionally, and you still have some kind of weird relationship. That's all. See, when people are truly done, they don't do any of this.
Entanglements.
When people are truly done with each other, or one side is more done than the other, you just walk away, and you don't care who they get with. You don't care what they do, or where they hang out, or where they go out into the bar.
You mean it's almost 10 years into a marriage, and it's not normal for the ex to still be keeping tabs on you?
No, that is.
So we're just in a very strange situation. Okay,
that's abnormal.
I hope you're listening, honey. It's weird. Okay, so when Karen became pregnant in 1990, like I said, she confides in her sister that this child is Reese's, but Reese denies being with Karen and claims he is not the father of her unborn child, that this is just another one of her outlandish claims.
Okay, do you believe him?
I don't know. That's the thing.
But if he is indeed a serial philanderer, these are the types of things that someone like that does.
Possibly, but I'm also like, but if you hate this person, why would you fuck them?
Well,
why would either one of them want to be with, you know what I'm saying? You're divorced. Again, flinging back and forth all this bullshit.
Right. So she's admitting that we had sex even after all this.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how babies are made.
Well, no, I'm saying
so back in the 5th grade. So I'm assuming then they would have had to hook up at some point.
Well, I'm saying, but even after all this,
which doesn't really make sense for me and my rational brain, but I mean, I guess people be doing what they do, right?
Well, it just makes you wonder if all the rest of it's bullshit, you know?
Karen has visitation rights with her daughters. She firmly believes that she has this good chance of retaining custody of the girls. Karen Beard was last seen on January 15th of 1990. She picked her daughters up at 4 p.m. from Calvary Baptist School, which is in Kingston, Tennessee. Reese and the girls reside in Kingston, which is about 6 miles from Karen's apartment in Harriman. After spending time with her daughters, Karen drops the children off at their grandparents' house. Now, this is her in-laws, Dr. Craig Beard and Dr. Carolyn Beard. The Beards were a prominent family in the area. Craig was a dentist, and his wife was a physician who managed the Roane County Health Department. Karen left the Beards' residence around 7:30 p.m. Karen had been working as a server at Shoney's restaurant in Lunar City. I don't know if it's Lunar or Lunar City.
Okay.
It's kind of got a strange spelling. I'm going to go with Lunar City, which is about 25 miles from Harriman. She was scheduled to work at 10 a.m. the morning of January 16th. However, Karen did not show up for her shift. Coworkers called her apartment but received no answer. It's like one of those no call, no show situations, and they felt this was unusual for Karen. She'd been a reliable employee since they had hired her. It just didn't seem like her to not call.
Right.
A week passes, and Karen fails to show up for every shift at work that she's been scheduled for. She also fails to show up for an appointment with her attorney. And now, as involved as Karen is in this custody case, in this custody battle, Brenda Hall, the attorney, is very concerned because the appointment is on January 23rd. She learns that Karen has not been seen for over a week, that Karen's not at her apartment. She goes to the apartment, knocks on the door, doesn't get her. She's not getting any calls, answered. Nobody picks up. She calls Karen's job. So she's concerned, and that's when she files a police report.
So her lawyer did.
Her lawyer, yes.
Well, yeah.
Has a missing client and files the police report.
When someone goes missing like that, just out of nowhere, no work, no friends have seen her, missing everything in their life, no one has any information at all. I mean, how could that not be concerning?
Brenda Hall met deputies at Karen's apartment. They find no signs of a struggle or forced entry. Karen's car is missing from the parking lot, but inside, they discover she left behind her keys, purse, and wallet. Her personal belongings are still in the apartment. This is never a good sign. We've discussed many a true crime case when a person goes missing and leaves behind everything: money, cell phone, keys,
the vehicle,
all the things. It just never seems to work out in a positive way.
Very seldom.
Because if you're going to leave, if you're going to skip town, going to go stay at a friend's house for a few days, whatever, you're going to take personal items.
Your stuff.
If I ever go missing, you need to check and see if my toothbrush is here, because that's the first thing I'm going to take with me is my toothbrush.
Well, that's why you'll have cases where people do just disappear, leave all their stuff, purse, phone, keys, vehicle, never access their bank accounts again. There's never another hit on their social security number. And you'll still have people saying, well, maybe they just, they're an adult. They can make their own choices. It's like nobody does that. You just leave your money, you just go get a new identity. I mean, it's
not in this day and age.
It's ridiculous.
With everything being digital, I mean, it's much harder, I think, to fake your death or go missing and then reappear with a brand new ID. That might have been possible 50, 60 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago.
Yeah, the move was, right?
But it's not possible today.
You go to a graveyard, you look for someone who's similar to your age that passed quite early on, who would be similar to your age now if they had lived. You take that name, and back in the day, it wasn't that hard to get a birth certificate. You go pull their birth certificate. You can get a Social Security card, issued in that person's name because they never used it. They died as a child or whatever, and boom, you got a new identity. But I agree with you. I think it's much more difficult nowadays to do something like that.
I can find your grave online now. Officers are questioning the Beards because that was the last place Karen was seen alive. Now, the Beards tell these officers, she left at 7:30 p.m., and we have not seen or heard from her since. Reese Beard had a different story to tell. He says that on the night of January 15th, he was visiting a female friend who lived in Harriman. At 8:30 p.m., Reese received a phone call from Karen. She said she was at the Center Ferry Bridge pull-off over the Clinch River. This was only about a quarter mile from the Beards' home. Karen said she needed help moving her car because she had lost the keys. Reese drove with a trailer to the location, planning to load Karen's car onto it. The car was locked, and at that point, Reese advised Karen to call a tow truck. Now, the female friend corroborated Reese's story.
So he's not even with the other woman?
Well,
With the best friend?
I don't know the details.
Oh, okay.
I
see.
just know he was with a friend who happened to be female. Now, you're saying men can't have female friends?
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't have any female friends except my wife.
Well, I'm sorry for you.
I think the male
You should get some girlfriends.
No. You
go
don't
shopping or whatever.
You don't believe that. That's not true. I think the feminine and masculine energy interact in a way that it should be very, 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 what's the right word? Peripheral.
Okay.
Very non. Like I don't think I should go hang out with another chick all day.
Well, look, I had a male best friend for a long time, and you met him. You've hung out with him.
Right.
And then he moved.
Okay.
Out of state.
Anyway.
But I'm just saying, did you feel threatened by my male friend?
No.
Exactly. Anyway, I don't know the details, but Reese
So the female
is hanging out with some female. And I don't know if at this point he's still married, if he's separated, if he's putting it in everybody, throwing it in that thing. I don't know, Dylan.
He's a meat slinger.
Maybe he is. I have no idea. I'm just telling you, he was hanging out with his girlfriend, a girl who's a friend, and she says yes. Karen called my apartment and asked him to come help with the car.
Later that evening, after 7:30, when
Yes.
Reese's parents last saw her.
Right, about an hour after she left their home.
Okay.
Investigators still felt there were discrepancies. How did Karen know Reese was at this woman's house? The woman's number was unlisted. The police were unsure how Karen would have gotten the phone number. Reese also said he did not know where Karen had called from or how she had gotten this phone number or had the information that he was at this woman's house.
That is weird, right?
Well, I'm thinking look, I don't know, but it sounds like maybe Reese and Karen both was like some crazy bitches. Like he was being a little cray, she was being a little cray-cray. I'm thinking, well, if she followed him, saw that he's at this woman's house, maybe knew the woman, maybe she knew who this person was, then maybe she calls him over there, like to let him know, I know you're there. You know what I mean?
Maybe
and
she already has the number.
Like maybe she can get him to come away with her. I don't know.
Or she could know someone that knows the girl.
I'm just saying that when people is in this mode of like, drama and custody and, they all be acting like crazy bitches sometimes.
You're saying nothing's impossible in this scenario.
Right. So my first thought isn't really like, how did she get this woman's number? Because I'm like, look, if we women want to know something about somebody, your new girl or whatevs, we going to find out.
You go swamp crawl on the ass, don't you?
We're going to figure it out. Shortly after the alleged encounter with her ex-husband, around 10 p.m., a company called Collier Wrecker Service received a phone call from a woman named Karen Farmer Beard. She said she needed a tow, provided a description of the car, and the location of the pull-off near the bridge. The tow company responded to the vehicle at around 2 a.m. That's like a 4-hour window. If I'm calling a wrecker to come get my car, I don't know if I want to wait around for 4 hours for the tow company.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, that's why I call around until someone will say,
I need some expedited service.
Yeah, well, you can be like the next person or something.
Yeah, I don't want to wait on the side of the road for 4 hours.
No.
They found Karen's car, but she was already gone. Well, yeah, it's been 4 hours. Like, who wants to wait around in the dark on the side of the road? A deputy drove by the car around midnight and did not see anyone in the car, near the car.
He just noticed
this abandoned car at this pull-off. When he passed again at 5 a.m., the car was gone. Since Karen grew up in California, she had a distinct accent. It didn't exactly match the mountains of eastern Tennessee. So the police decided to play a recording of Karen's voice to the tow truck driver and to the dispatcher to see if they recognize this voice. And the dispatcher said the recording sounded completely different from the woman who had called. Now, do you think that's reliable?
Yes, I do. I do. I mean, even if you're not familiar with the accent, if someone has a very particular way of speaking or sounding, I think you're able to discern if it sounds completely different, right? Especially a dispatcher, someone who talks to people on the phone a lot. I think that's maybe not bulletproof, but I think it's something that can, give you an idea or kind of make you think.
See, I kind of don't buy it or believe it. We know eyewitness statements are often skewed or inaccurate.
So this is an ear witness.
This isn't.
But no, so it could be the same thing.
And I'm imagining it's a wrecker service. They probably get a number of calls. I don't know the amount of time that had passed between Karen's call and then the police playing this recording.
Right.
But I just don't know if I buy it.
And
I also think a lot of times people want to be helpful. So if they want to tell police what they think the police want to hear.
Right.
And so I'm just thinking, like, if I was in a customer service position, I can't remember who called 3 days ago and what they sounded like.
Right. Well, those are valid points. And how long did you even speak to them? Because all my interactions with short of like a heavy Bronx accent or something very noticeable, because I don't.
Well, I mean, she's from California, but I'm imagining.
What's the accent sound like?
Well, right. I mean, are they trying to say she was like a valley girl? Like, Tiddly, come pick up my car, man.
Yeah, I know. Right. I'd like to hear the audio of her speaking and see if it seems distinct.
Gag me with a spoon. I'm totally stuck in this pull-off and my car won't start.
Because honestly, I've known of some people from California and stuff like that, or grew up there and things like that. I've never really, now they may sound different than the mountain folks.
They ain't like us.
They don't talk like us. But at the same time, it just, I don't know. I don't recall, short of like some surfer dude.
Honestly, yes. I mean, I think a California accent's quite neutral.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't really know if they're from California.
Well, I think the Midwest accent would stick out. The Northeast accent would stick out. All these, I could think of 20 other accents just in America.
I find like the California accent to be a fairly neutral accent.
Right.
Honestly. Anyway. Currently, the Roane County Rescue Squad is searching the Clinch River and the area where Karen's car was last seen. They haven't found any evidence or information up till now. It was like Karen had just vanished into thin air. Since Karen had been involved in a contentious custody dispute with Reese Beard, investigators decided to spend some time looking into this relationship. 3 months earlier, in October of 1990, a motion was filed allowing the two daughters to speak with a judge in his chambers to inform him which parent they wanted to live with. This motion was filed with affidavits stating that the girls wanted to live with their mother. Karen later accused Reese of sending thugs to, quote, beat her up, but instead they slashed her car tires.
Dude, what if she's like Robert De Niro and Cape Fear and she like beats them up? Takes like the bicycle chain from them, kicks their asses.
Brenda Hall told police her client was mortally afraid of Reese Beard. Now, okay, I don't know Karen. I don't know the situation firsthand, but none of this really adds up. If she's mortally afraid of him, how's she pregnant with his baby? How's she got his love child inside her womb?
But that's the thing. You know, you'll have these people who are like talking so much shit about each other, and I certainly don't think Reese is innocent in all this, because it usually takes two to tango for a relationship to keep on and on like this. But they'll talk so much shit about each other, and then sneak around and still, meeting up and having sex. And, I guess Karen could have been lying.
Having sex.
Yeah.
So taboo and naughty. We're not supposed to do this.
Well, you're not supposed to do that with
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so hot.
Well, it's the same people that will go get a restraining orders against each other and then, be caught together. You know what I
With
mean?
their pants down?
Well, you're just wasting everybody's
Yeah.
fucking time, dude.
Sounds sexy.
You're pulling everybody into your bullshit.
Yes.
And you want everybody to be a willing participant, to support you and listen and, you know, be your advocate and all this. And you'll go and then, boom, there you make everybody look stupid, you know? And you do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and that's not across the board. I mean, these are, kind of extenuating circumstances. But I have known people who've done that kind of thing.
But, I mean, if someone's in a contentious custody battle, well, you know, no matter what it's like, obviously you have to take a hard look at the person. Because when people do things like miss an important custody hearing or something like that, and then they go completely just off the face of the earth missing right before that, I mean, that seems awfully convenient, right?
Well, we're going to get into more of that, Dylan. Here's my thing as well. Like, she's saying he sent these thugs to attack her, but instead they slashed her car tires. I mean, how does she know? Did she have a lengthy conversation with these thugs who were like, we're here to beat you up, but you know what? We're just going to go slash your tires instead.
We're just going to say, you seem like a nice woman. We're just going to slash your tires instead of beating your face in.
Well, it's a lot easier to make an allegation that someone slashed your tires because it's not that difficult to slash your own tires than to say someone beat you up, because then you're going to actually have to have some like physical marks, bruises, something on your body to prove you were attacked. So I'm just saying, if you wanted to fabricate a story, slashing your tires is a lot easier than like beating your own ass. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But some people are crazy enough they can beat their own ass.
Don't look at me.
No, I'm not looking at you.
I'll
I'm
headbutt you.
My cousin was crazy like that.
I don't like the way you're looking at me, Dylan. Karen's sister, Linda, said that Karen was still in love with Reese. She had recently come to terms with the fact that they would never be in a relationship again. Karen also allegedly asked her sister if she would become the legal guardian of the unborn baby if anything happened to her.
Will you be its godmother?
So here we have Karen admitting she's still in love with him. I mean, again, it's like these little things kind of add up for me to a point where I'm like, I'm not sure if I believe like everything that's being said here.
Right.
If that makes sense. The Beard family denied any involvement in Karen's disappearance. Dr. Carolyn Beard did speak to the media. She said Karen had made up lies about Reese being an addict to cover up her own problems with drugs and alcohol. She described Karen as, quote, unstable. Dr. Beard believed Karen would eventually show up. Karen, according to Dr. Beard, had a flair for the dramatic. She had disappeared voluntarily 3 previous times. The first time, Karen was gone for 11 months. Then she was gone for 3 months. And then a third time, she went missing for a week. And now it was true. Karen had a history of running away or disappearing. When she was 9 months pregnant with her first child, Karen left San Diego. She birthed the child in Reno, Nevada. Like, she just up and left. Nobody knew where she was. And then she ends up having that child in Reno.
Okay.
Like, out of state, away from home.
And so she set the little newborn baby up with like an apartment or something, got him a job.
In Reno?
Yeah, got him a job at one of the casinos or something, then came back.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I would want to work in a Reno casino. It's kind of a dusty little spot in the road.
They have casinos in Reno?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just remember Reno being kind of like, this place is a little dusty.
All right. I've never been.
Brenda Hall disregarded this previous history. She told the media that Karen had been killed and the circumstances were not those of a person who had run away. Carolyn Beard states that neither she nor her husband knew Karen was pregnant. When they inquired about it, Reese denied being the child's father. Karen's due date was March 10th. There is no reported record of her giving birth anywhere, like after she went missing. Now, this is January the 15th. She goes missing, right? And she's due in March. I'm wondering, how do you not know she's pregnant? I mean, I know some women are really good at like a camouflaging pregnancy.
Right.
Right? I mean, I know there's those stories of, oh, I didn't even know I was pregnant until I had this baby. And they can go the whole 9 months and no one knows they're pregnant. But there was no way I would have ever been able to hide pregnancy because I was fucking huge.
So basically, at 6 months, everybody knew you were pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was no, yeah.
And I think this is the case for most women.
So would her mother-in-law former mother-in-law not recognize this is a pregnant woman? I mean, she knows what Karen looks like.
She's a doctor.
She's a doctor.
Well, maybe she was wearing like the,
I mean, it's possible. Maybe she thought, oh, well, maybe Karen's just gained a little weight or something. But how do you not know when someone's pregnant?
Maybe Karen liked to wear starter jackets or something.
Well, it is the 90s. It's very possible.
Maybe she had like a Charlotte Hornets.
I was going to say Charlotte Hornets. That was the jacket to have back then. It wasn't until November of 2010 that Karen's case received attention. A former detective named Clarence Robbins told a Knoxville newspaper that Karen's case had been one of the most frustrating of his career. Robbins told the newspaper that, based on his findings, he believes Karen was taken to a house in Kingston, Tennessee, where she was murdered. Her body was then disposed of. Robbins, along with 2 other retired investigators, said they think more than one person was involved in Karen's disappearance. They believed several people had withheld important information about the case.
Oh, how?
One of the investigators suggested there might have been a police cover-up. He felt someone in law enforcement was involved and helped sabotage the investigation. After all, the Beard family was well known and connected, and they may have had more involvement than they let on. The law enforcement officer they suspect was part of the conspiracy is dead now, and he has not been named publicly. So even if they found some proof, there's nothing they can do about it. He can't be charged.
Well, you could charge a skeleton.
Yeah.
Hold him to trial.
You'd be like, "Yo, dead, motherfucker, but we know you did it." Okay. Reese had several acquaintances that Robbins described as rough, unsavory characters. There were 3 suspects he felt knew about Karen's disappearance, but they refused to cooperate with law enforcement. One of the suspects was dying of cancer at a Nashville hospital. He wanted to speak with Detective Robbins, but by the time Robbins arrived at the hospital, the man had already slipped into a coma and then died.
Damn.
According to the news article, Reese had moved out of Roane County, but still lived in Tennessee around 2010. He did not comment on this news report. Karen's case remains unsolved. A cold case investigator was hired and reviewed the case, but so far there have been no breaks. Since no DNA test was ever conducted, there's no way of knowing if Reese Beard was the father of Karen's child. I mean, again, if they had bad blood, would they be a screwing? I guess that part doesn't really make sense to me.
Well, I mean, Reese can say she was lying, and maybe she was lying, right? Maybe if she was pregnant, maybe it wasn't by Reese, but then it could have been by Reese, right? I mean,
it's possible. Anything's
that's
possible
as well. And if she was, I could see that being making everything rather complicated for him. We always have to suspect the father of the child when a pregnant woman goes missing.
Well, here's my thing, Dylan. I mean, I have these questions like, could Karen be using again? Could she have relapsed?
It's possible. It's always possible if someone's, used in the past.
Did the child belong to someone else? Because I think it's really easy to blame the ex and the parents. I mean, I know statistically it's usually the husband, the wife, the ex. They always look at the partner, the former partner, especially if there's bad blood. But I also feel like in some ways it's kind of lazy police work to just automatically blame Reese and his parents.
Right.
I mean, not that his parents couldn't be involved, but, they're pretty respectable pillars of the community.
Yeah.
I mean, are we just going to go out on a limb and say this dentist and this doctor who runs the county health department
are willing to commit murder?
Murderers who,
that's
who
a
help
stretch.
Dispose of a body. I mean, I'm sorry, but that just doesn't. It's possible, but again, it just doesn't really hold water for me.
Right. It's unlikely.
Right. And it just seems kind of lazy to blame them because I don't know if these details are true, if Karen really did call Reese, Like, what was the deal behind that? Was she just trying to get his attention? How did she lose her keys? Her keys were in the apartment.
How'd her car even get out there?
Well, I know.
Well, she must have had a second set.
So this is all very strange, right?
Well, yeah, it's strange. And, if you were going to do something to someone and they were having a very well-known kind of public dispute with someone else, especially something like custody, because, emotions run high and things like that, it's the perfect cover for you if you do something to that person, because everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, well, she was supposed to go to court. I mean, that's the first thing that's going to pop to people's minds if something happens to that person. So if that was the case, that would be the perfect cover. If you wanted to get rid of that person, no one's going to, especially if you're like a secret, like you're having an affair or you're doing something on the side that it's a hush hush, and maybe and hey, how many times
sneaky squirrel putting your nuts in the wrong basket?
How many times have we heard that before? If you don't leave, I'm going to tell. I'm going to, I'm not saying that Karen did this. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, we're just speculating,
right?
Because it is such an odd case. There's limited information out there about what really transpired. And so we have to ask these questions.
Especially if they're pregnant by you, because there's no denying that once the baby comes and you have DNA, that is almost like a ticking ultimatum or time bomb for someone if they don't want that to get out, that they're having a relation with this person.
Well, and I know some people would be offended by the fact that we're discussing her potential relapse or something, because a lot of people are like, look, you can have a drug past but move on from that and be clean. And yes, you can. But I just think given the circumstances, her history, that she has had these drug and alcohol issues, she's had a history of disappearing without a word. I mean, so much that she even left her husband to go have a baby in another state and was just like hanging out in this other state for 11 months. I mean, that's kind of strange behavior, right?
I think so.
Not usual behavior. So who's to say that she came to Tennessee, maybe she had gotten kind of mixed up with the wrong crowd, or maybe was buying some drugs again, or she was seeing someone. I mean, that could very well, bring in like a new crop of suspects, right?
Right.
But we just don't know. And again, like I said, I mean, there doesn't seem to be a lot of evidence pointing to Reese and his family. I mean, so again, I feel like that's kind of lazy police work to just point the finger automatically.
Well, and I think a lot of cases that's what you see when they don't have obvious leads or strong leads to go on. You'll see them kind of maybe just they go with the statistical favorite and blame the husband or blame the wife,
right,
or the ex.
Well, and this detective to say, oh, well, all this information leads us to these 3 suspects, and we think she was taken in this house, but none of the suspects will speak. But it's like you're not really providing details. Like, what led you to these suspects? I mean, the fact that you're kind of leaving out big chunks of information and being so vague about it is kind of strange to me. In addition to, you're going to blame a law enforcement cover-up. Those are pretty serious allegations.
So we have...
and just because his parents are connected in the community, or they're dentists and a doctor, do they really have that kind of sway over law enforcement? I mean, some of it's just kind of not adding up for me. It almost seems a little outlandish.
Well, I mean, what you're describing is a full-on...
massive cover-up.
Massive cover-up conspiracy. And I just don't know if, a couple of doctors working, that work in a community have... You have to have a very strong motivation to go that far, to put your freedom, your career, everything on the line. I mean, that doesn't really work for me.
I'm a cop and I love my dentist so much, I'm going to cover up this thing for him. I mean, come on. Most people don't like their dentist that much.
This seems like a stretch. And like you said, I was curious when you said that investigator had kind of came up with all this. I'm like, wow, that sounds, like really good, strong leads, but
it's so
you're
vague.
Right. Then you should be able to take this to investigate, I mean, I've seen plenty of private off the book retired investigators put together a solid case, do the work.
Yeah, actually, a lot of cold case
And turn it over.
investigators are retired,
Right.
And they come back almost in like a voluntary capacity,
Yes.
to investigate cold cases. I mean, I've heard multiple podcasts and interviews with people. That's what they do.
But when they turn up good, solid stuff, the
Well,
other
and
investigators have no problem. But I guess you could just say, well, it's part of the cover-up.
Well, if the other investigator that, they think is guilty or was involved in the cover-up, if that officer, whatever their position was, is gone now, they've passed, they're no longer with us, then this seems like a perfect time for you to bring this information and these theories you have forward, right?
Right.
So again, I just don't know if I believe what they're telling us.
I agree.
There's a lot of questions that remain. And I'm not trying to like victim blame or anything like that at all. Because, this woman, she's a mother, she was expecting, and to vanish like that, and then we've never heard from her again, 30 plus years. I mean, obviously nothing good happened there.
Well, no, I mean, that's none of our speculations is big, because if she had relapsed, if she had kept messing with Reese, even though they were supposed to, be in this custody battle, none of that means that she deserves to die, right? So,
and if Reese was married or involved with someone else, who's to say there wasn't some like a woman could have killed her? There could have been some kind of underlying jealousy. I mean, I'm just saying
it could be anything.
There's a lot of possibilities, and I just don't know exactly how they arrived at, well, it was this guy and his family. Especially, what did Reese have to gain by saying, I saw her, she called me, there was a tow truck involved?
Right.
Because he could have just easily not said that and still had an alibi that I'm at my friend's house.
Yeah,
like, he
because
didn't have to go to these great lengths to like stage a cover up or something.
he's at some random friend's house who's not known to, investigators. So that means that if she called that friend's house. She didn't even call his house. So it's not like he had to make up a reason for her calling his phone records. So, I mean, it's really, it doesn't make sense.
Well, and as far as and if someone were to say, well, he was trying to get rid of the car and they wanted the car towed away or whatever, it would have been just as easy to take that car and park it somewhere and abandon it, or just take it back to her apartment and park it and then just leave. And
you don't get a tow truck involved.
No, but well, yeah, you're getting this whole other. I mean, so I guess those things don't really.
That's
make
a whole other set of
sense
witnesses. Is it creates a timeline. I mean, that would be if he did do that. It's dumb. It's a dumb move.
Well, again, I'm just a logical, reasonable person, and I like to look at things from a very logical perspective. And so it just kind of doesn't really make sense.
Right.
To me.
Well, it's just like that's what happens. That's why you're getting so much speculation. That's what happens in these cases, because you don't have all the answers. We don't know what happened, unfortunately. And it's sad, whatever happened. I think it's obvious something bad happened to this poor woman. And
yeah,
she
I think
didn't
it's highly unlikely that she disappeared willingly and has been gone all these years.
Right. And she didn't deserve whatever happened to her.
Well, and there are two little girls who grew up without a mother.
And then she was pregnant.
It seems they obviously love their mom. They were going to tell a judge they wanted to live with their mom. And then she's pregnant. I mean, none of this is okay.
Right.
And it's really sad. And then her family in California, I mean, they are halfway across the country. They don't have answers. That's got to be really hard to be thousands of miles away from your loved one and know they're missing, but you're kind of helpless because you're not there in town. You can't really lead a search effort.
Or talk to anyone in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, if you have any thoughts, suggestions, case ideas, or you want to send us a listener story, you can always do that by emailing mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
We do.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye.